Were you having your normal meeting?
Yes.
Nice facility. We're from Mount Table.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. It is a really nice facility. There's been a lot of facilities for years. Like this is so
Not that I've seen. I'm not on. You hotspot. Yeah. You and Lens want to come on down? We got a back. That's cool. Yeah.
Glad to see you, Robert.
I feel very naked like that. I didn't know you were back on the board. That's cool.
Only for years.
Okay. Well, sorry.
Two, I don't know.
Yeah. In and out, on and off, yeah.
Scroll down. You lost it. You broke it, bro.
Same one.
No, you're using
That's in the car.
What's this one?
NX70U. Sony.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've had this since like 2014. Or yeah, 2014.
How's the mic too?
Really good.
That's always seems to be the issue is the mic. I can't see me jiggling my feet, right?
So what would you like me to do? Somewhere where I'll be able to introduce you. Oh, that's okay. So what are you having me do tonight?
Yeah, I've been covering that protest in Oregon City. There's a DHS protest that's been going on about a lady, her daughter had cancer, and she took her to OHSU, and they did chemotherapy and radiation, and the tumor got bigger and bigger, and she got to the point that she flatlined twice on the table.
Welcome everyone to the Lents
it was really bad.
General Membership Meeting for January. I see a lot of new faces tonight, and I'm going to guess that some of you are here for Commissioner Joanne Carey's seat, or for Prosper Portland. But this is one of our regular meetings, so we do have like a little bit of business to get through before we can get to our speakers tonight, but we're going to try to make it quick. So for those of you who live in the neighborhood and this is your first time and you might be interested in coming back, I want to tell you a little bit about the LNA. We are one of the 95 city-recognized neighborhood associations. We are for everyone. Sometimes people think that neighborhood associations are just for homeowners, but this is for renters, for our houseless neighbors, for the youth, really for anyone. We try to make the meetings as accessible as possible, so we usually provide food or refreshments and free childcare here in this room. We meet every fourth Tuesday. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, February 25th, and one of our guests at that meeting is going to be Commissioner Riga Pedersen, who is going to talk about a proposed early education plan. We also have, so if you're interested in joining the Neighborhood Association, we have a couple of positions open. Over there at the back, Ben, will you raise your hand? Ben is over there. He has just remember, he has a red box that's for questions. If you have any questions about joining or anything like that, you can go talk to Ben. He has lots of useful materials. Okay, before we get started, I wanted to read a territory acknowledgement to honor the people who used to be here. The Lents Neighborhood Association respectfully acknowledges that we are on traditional village sites of Monoma, Wasco, Cowlitz, Calumet, Clackamas, bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Calpuya, Moala, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia River. creating communities and summer encampments to harvest and use the plentiful natural resources of the area. It's important to recognize that the languages and cultures that belong to people who were here for thousands of years still exist today. There are currently about 70 to 80,000 Native Americans in the Portland metro area. The Native community has grown by nearly 16% in the last 60 years and outpaced the Portland regional population growth. Okay, so just going to recognize some of the roles. So I have a full facilitator tonight. This is Lizzie. Because it's such a large crowd and I anticipate lots of questions, Lizzie is going to help me pass the mic around.
Yeah. So I'll go over this again, but I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to be heard, and especially people that might not be comfortable really getting out there. So if you see a neighbor that might want to be saying something but is holding back a little bit, just wiggle your hands and I can come over. Or if language is an issue for you, I can kind of help get that out. And just all be respectful. We're all neighbors. We know the ground rules and we're all adults. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's see. We also have a timekeeper tonight to keep us on track, to keep this meeting fast-paced. Jennifer right here has these time cards. So like when we're gonna ask questions, or take comments, we ask that you take no more than 2 minutes to speak. So she has some cards to show you how much time you have left. What else? Wanted to recognize our note taker, Sarah, our child care provider, Claudia Moreno. Again, food is free for everyone. Please eat at any point. And we also have a code of conduct that's out there in the front, and I put a copy in front of you that we're going to go over before we engage in conversations. But it's pretty self-explanatory. What else? This one? Oh. Also on your table and at the front, there's little pieces of paper on which you can write comments or questions that you might have. Recognizing that this is a big crowd and we might not get to everyone's questions, but we do want to address your questions, and I know that so does the commission and so does Thea with Prosper Portland. We can take these at the end, drop them in the red box that's over at the back, and we will compile them and send them over to them, and then any answers that we get, we will post them on our website and on Facebook. Okay, and with that, we just have to get through a little bit of membership business before we can get to our speakers. The first item is the board, have nominated a new land use chair, Jennifer Breedlove. She's here tonight, and we wanted to let her introduce herself to you, and then we're going to ask the general membership to ratify our decision and vote Jennifer in.
Sabina. I'm Jennifer Breedlove. I'm a Portland native, and I've lived in the Lents neighborhood for over 15 years. I'm very excited with this position to be able to become involved with my community and also with city leaders and making choices about our land.
Does anyone have any questions for Jennifer? Yes, please. Hold on a second. Test.
Just a basic one, like what's your connection and your history with land use issues?
So I'm in training with the land use with this position. However, when it comes to land use issues, I have connections to realtors throughout the city of Portland, Clackamas County, Winona County, and then I also have personal relationships with some people in our city of Portland, or commissions. So I've been a landlord of multiple properties too as well. And I'm building relationships with developers around the city as we speak, with a new business that I started called Four Forces Incorporated. I'm going to be training with, I'll be training with the city of Portland here on February 6th and 7th in the civic engagement department. So, yeah.
Anyone else?
Anybody, any other questions?
Okay, well, with that, we're going to take a vote. So the process for doing this, for voting, is people who are members get to vote, and a member is basically someone who has signed in at least one other time prior to tonight. And obviously, lives in Lents, is over 18 years of age, and I think that's it. So first, I'm curious, how many people here are members? If you could please raise your hand. Let's count that. 15, 16. Okay, I think that's it. So if you,
Could you just explain what it is to be a member? Like,
yeah,
someone might be a member or not.
like I just mentioned that. Is there something in addition to that? So if you have signed into a meeting one other time prior to tonight, and you live in Lents. Okay, so if you are in favor of electing Jennifer Breedlove as the Lents Neighborhood Association next land use chair, please raise your hand. Okay, 16 in favor. So I guess that means none opposed and no abstentions. And with that, congratulations, Jennifer. You are our new land use chair, and your term goes through the fall of 2021. Congratulations.
And I look forward to hearing from all of my neighbors with their concerns and comments. And I'll be taking facilitation training too, so if we have anything else that we need to get in. Thanks, guys.
Thank you and welcome. Okay, and then the last action item is, so we had a resignation by our secretary, and since we don't currently have a secretary and we need someone to fill that role, the board appointed Sarah Wines, who is currently our vice chair, to also serve as secretary. And we checked with our nonprofit advisor, and that is totally a thing that's possible. According to the Oregon nonprofit law, someone can serve more than one role. So Sarah Wines is going to be our we've nominated as a board Sarah to be our interim secretary until someone is interested in filling that role. And we just wanted to make it official. So if you are in favor of Sarah being our new interim secretary, please raise your hand. Okay, 13 in favor. If you are opposed, please raise your hand. None opposed. And if you are abstaining, please raise your hand to record that. And 3 abstain, obviously. Okay. All right, and so thank you everyone for getting through that with us. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Thea Munchell with Prosper Portland. Thea has some handouts for you all. I think she's already placed them one on each table, and she's going to talk about a Lents budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. And I'm going to let her explain so we don't double up on information, but I think it'd be helpful to kind of give a little more context for people who may be hearing about this for the first time.
Thank you all. My name is Thea Munchell. I am a project manager at Prosper Portland. I came to Portland and to work with Prosper Portland about a year and a half ago. I moved here from the city of Cincinnati, where I've been working with community development corporations and neighborhood groups, partner with the city to advance economic development and real estate development goals within the community. I'm really excited to be here in Portland. I've been excited to work primarily in East Portland. My projects so far have been focused in Gateway, and I've been expanding some of that role now into Lents. Previously, you may have all met in the past Allison Wicks. She was our previous project manager for Lents. She has since moved on and is working with the city of Milwaukee, and so I am filling in her role for now, and that was likely a relationship that will continue, but it's emerging now what that is, and so I'm still very new to the nuts and bolts of the work that has been occurring long-term in Lents as a partnership with Prosper Portland and your community, so please bear with me. I'm sure you all have lived here long